Dom Gold update. This is Gemma. Gemma, say hi. Gemma, say hi. Gemma, say hi. Today's outfit of the update. It's everything I bought from Wish. The harness, the sunglasses, the shirt, the mesh shirt. But this isn't the only shirt from Wish I got. I also got this Yu-Gi-Oh shirt, full print, front and back, just like the Ahiegao, but a little more tame. It also has this guy on it. Where is he at? I don't recognize this character. I almost want to say he's like someone's OC. If you know who he is, leave a comment down below. But wait! There's more. This might be perhaps my favorite purchase from Wish. I honestly thought this was going to be something else. I thought it was going to be like a joke or like they were just going to take my money and run. But it is a full print front and back shirt of a single shot from the movie Boss Baby.
Cookies are for culture.
This is like one of those things that you just... I don't believe it exists, but I have it. Continuing with this update, I know I wanted these to be a little bit more monthly. That hasn't happened. But we're here now. As you know, as a creator, sometimes it's hard to force yourself to stick to a schedule because the best creations always come from spur of the moment. One series that was kind of filmed with that entire mindset of just spur of the moment, like we got an idea, let's go film it, is actually my series Dr.Cowboy, which you can check out on the Dowd Productions YouTube page. You can also follow Dowd Productions on Instagram, Twitter, and there is a Facebook page as well. We've got Season 0 on there, which me and a friend went back. We did some voiceovers of, we kind of cleaned it up, added some new graphics, made it a little bit more watchable because it's definitely like amateur, early 2000s style video. That's one series that I have kind of always ongoing. I have the first episode of Season 1 that's been out for a while now. Please go check that out. Let me know what you think. I really want to do like a behind the scenes video of all that because there's so much to explain about the process of it, and I feel like it'd be something that'd really help a lot of creators themselves, a lot of people like me on YouTube that just kind of, you know, we're all in the same boat with things, like how many hoops we had to jump through and how many people we had to change to get us the help to do it. We're working on a full Season 1 still. They're still only at one episode out right now. My goal is really to take our time with it, not really have too much of a release date per se, because I want it to be the best production quality it could. Season 1, Episode 1 is definitely a step up in quality from the rest of them, but the story's still there. It's still me and my friend Alex that write it, and are a lot of the actors in it as well. There's a lot of new faces in Season 1, Episode 1. I'm hoping I can get them back. I'll save that for another video. I'm thinking I'm going to do a documentary on that, post that on the Dowd Productions Facebook page. I really want to do some types of skits. I want to do a series on my Dom Gold channel. I've been putting a lot of thought into that. So that might be on its way. I'm going to talk about the cassettes today, obviously. That's what this update's for. I do want a way to be a little bit more engaging with this music. This is more showing off the collection. I'd like to do a cast or something. I might even do it like as a segment on my live streams. I do plan to do maybe some more Twitch streaming. Maybe that's something I'll talk about more while I'm playing games and doing that. But as far as these videos, the update videos, as they go on, I feel like they're going to be a little bit more mix of everything. Like last time, I just talked about my figures for the most part, but we covered that whole figure collection. But now with this one, I'm going to update you on some of the figures that I have currently got. We've got some NECA figures. We got the Blade Runner Ryan Gosling figure. We got the T-1000. That was a Toys R Us's closing down purchase. Got some Evangelion figures, got some more. We got a swimsuit Asuka, swimsuit Rey that I got thrown in free when I bought the Unit 1 figure from a friend. You can see right next to them, we've got some Final Fantasy. Those are figures I've had. Those might be the first figures I ever bought from an anime convention back when I was like 10. And then finally, bottom shelf, we've got Lando Calrissian, Donald Glover's from the movie Solo. That's it for the update on the figures. I want to talk about some of the con stuff I've done. I went to Katsucon back in February. We cosplayed Curse from Dorohedoro. Got my third Dorohedoro cosplay in. I'm working on another one now. I've got like every character that that's a series that I like really just want to cosplay every character from. So always expect to see some Dorohedoro. But I got Curse done. I was happy. That was so rushed. I cosplayed Akira and I cosplayed Prosciutto. Akira from Devilman Crybaby. I cosplayed Prosciutto from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 5. I also brought those cosplays to MomoCon, and I also cosplayed Biker from Hotline Miami. There should be some shoot pictures coming up with us soon. But enough of those updates. You all came here to see some cassettes. Presenting my cassette collection. Insert sound effect and probably like 5 filters from Final Cut Pro presets. I probably should explain my love for cassettes. Why do I collect so many? Why do I have them all here? It all started back, I was walking through the neighborhood. I saw a man emptying his house. I saw a box by the curb filled with cassettes. And at the time, I remember one of my friends, we were hanging out. I think he had like a few cassettes or something. We were like, oh, this is kind of cool, like vintage 80s music. Like, you know me, I love 80s stuff. So I was like, oh, I don't need to collect more stuff, but I can take what I want from this box and give the rest of the stuff that I don't want to my friend. And the guy comes out and he's like, hey, yeah, you can take that box. It was like some guy, I think his dad had passed away at that house, and he's like, yeah, I'm here from Ecuador just to like sell the house. And I'm just like, oh geez. Hi Gemma, you want to join the update? Two of the first cassettes I got out of there was Snap World Power and Information Society's album, Information Society. And those kind of, at the time, my car had a cassette player in it, so that's what I was listening to all the time, because I didn't have an aux. Well, I had like one of those cassette things you could plug your aux into, but I started getting more interested in just like popping in this old music. I really started to connect with it because it was like, this is a really cool way for me to discover music that I've never heard or that I've never really been into before. That's how it kind of all started. So in that box of cassettes, there were some regular cassettes. A lot of them were loose box. This is a case that I keep all my loose box cassettes in. It is already full. These are like actually labeled cassettes that don't have their cases. So we've got Snap's World Power. We've got the Cars Greatest Hits. We've got Information Society's Information Society. When I first started, I just get whatever I could find. Go to the flea market. Oh, there's a bunch of cassettes here. Pick out a few cool ones. Take that. Oh, your mom's clearing out your house. I'm gonna take all your cassettes. And so I've started to refine what I take a little bit more, but it is fun to get big lots. But I really ended up liking the music that I was finding. It was cool to hear a lot of things that I've maybe recognized before, but never actually got into and understood who the artist was, or looked into some of the other music they were doing. That's kind of what got me into collecting cassettes. But then obviously, I got a lot more interested in getting cassettes that were in better condition, had their cases, had their artwork. So in the top first drawer here, we've got a lot of rap, old hip-hop, some electronic music, some ambient music, NWA Straight Outta Compton, Coolio's Gangsta's Paradise, MC Hammer. I did want to talk about some cassettes in particular. I did really want to talk about Kanye West's Yeezus album, but with the way he's been on Twitter lately... I got Lil Yachty. I thought that was really cool. He put his newest album out on cassette. We got Enigma, which is like some cool ambient... I forget what genre to put them in. If you like ambient electro trance house with like Gregorian chant sounding stuff in the background, Enigma's for you. Specifically this album, MCMXCAD. Second drawer up here is just some miscellaneous stuff that I've yet to go through. In this last one here, we've got Christmas cassettes. One thing that's really funny that I found while collecting cassettes is every collection you're gonna find Christmas cassettes. Like Christmas cassettes, there's such an abundance of them. At least for me personally, while I was like, whenever I was collecting cassettes, every time I'd get like a box of cassettes from someone, there's always a Christmas album in there, whether it was Frank Sinatra or Elvis, or I even think I have like Manhattan Transfer's Christmas album. And then behind that is some compilation stuff, kind of like, oh, 80s greatest hits, or I think there's like a Gregorian chant one there or something too. Moving down to the bottom drawers, one of my favorite things that I realized I did when I was starting to organize these cassettes more is I have a lot of movie soundtracks. I've got old and new, and that's the thing with cassettes is that I like getting old and new. I don't really... Obviously, I really enjoy getting older music, because that's music a lot of it I haven't heard before, and, you know, discover something that's been out there for years that I can give some new light to. Also, I like new cassettes. I got the Stranger Things soundtrack, got the Drive soundtrack, we've got Ghostbusters, the Batman soundtracks, Miami Vice, which was a new one I recently found. We've got like Schindler's List soundtrack. Soundtracks actually continue into the next drawer. We got some musicals in there as well, such as Cats, Into the Woods, Phantom of the Opera. We've got Aladdin. At the end of our soundtracks, we do have some Halloween cassettes. I think one of those is just like Halloween spooky sounds. Pop that in, give a spooky atmosphere. One of them, you flip them around and it's got like Ghostbusters, Monsters Mash, the Munsters theme. And then in this last drawer here, on the second tier of drawers, I have a lot of mixes that I've gotten through collections from people. Some of them are full albums that people have just recorded, like their friend gave them. Some of them are mixes, some of them are love mixes. And it's, I don't know, it's something that's really personal, and I thought it was really cool, like, when people just give me their whole collections, I found things that were, like, part of their lives. For me, it's not the #1 thing I like collecting, but I'm not opposed when, like, I don't go out and look for people's personal cassette mixes, but when I get them, I do enjoy having that. And I actually, moving on to mixes, I've got more, just because I didn't have room for them, stacked up on top of my shelf here. This one right here, a friend made for me, which I thought was really cool. It's really cool looking cassette. It's like green and really 90s pop fun. But he recorded like a Metal Gear themed playlist on here, which I thought was amazing. Even though I'm not the biggest fan of other people's mixes, like getting a mixtape myself, it's thoughtful. It's a really it's like making a handmade card for someone's birthday. It's just, I love the stuff like that. It's like sentimental. Down below, we've got a lot of cassettes right here. A lot of these are, again, not so much organized, but they are things that I recognize more. Like, we got Stevie Nicks, Tina Turner, Barbra Streisand, we've got George Michael's, Genesis, Kenny Loggins, Earth, Wind and Fire. Jimmy Hates Jazz, that was actually another cassette that was one of my first ones. These single cassettes were always funny to me, because it's like, front and back it's the same song, and then like the bonus song that goes with the single that no one cares about. But I really love this one, Shattered Dreams. Check it out. Another thing that's kind of driven me to buy more cassettes was knowing of a specific song and wanting to have that on cassette. So for example, a really famous song that's been a meme recently within the past, I mean, it was a meme a long time ago, and then it resurfaced again recently, Rasputin. That song. I really wanted that song on cassette, so that actually got me to look up the band, look up the album. Turns out it was, there goes Barry Manilow. That was some Barry Manilow. If you remember, I specifically, I don't know if I bought that cassette or if I happened to get it in a collection, but it's got the song I Can't Smile Without You, which was from Hellboy 2?
Can't smile without you.
I know.
Yep, I'm gonna need a beer too.
And that's why I wanted that one. Then I listened to it and I'm like, okay, so that's Barry Manilow. Rasputin by Boney M on their album Night Flight to Venus. So that's another thing that like kind of drives me to want to buy more cassettes and look into it, because I know vaguely of something or I want a specific song to listen to on cassette. I buy the entire album and in turn sometimes find some music that I didn't know I'd ever hear and really like. And then of course the main shelf, we've got some of the best of the best. Also up here is like my largest collection, so like I have 4 David Bowie albums, we've got some Prince, got like a bunch of Rolling Stones, Guns N' Roses, we've got a bunch of Aerosmith, Led Zeppelin, got some more of my favorites, got Depeche Mode. Actually, through cassettes, I discovered that my favorite Depeche Mode album was Black Celebration. We've got Rammstein, we've got their first 3 albums on cassette. I think those are the only albums they have on cassette, but I gotta keep looking. Really wanted them, they're my favorite band, so I had to have what I could have of them on my favorite format. We've got some Misfits, we've got Kiss, AC/DC, Queen, Supertramp, Camel. This was another one I wanted to talk about, Camel's Moon Madness. That was one I found from my parents' collection, because I remember when I was like telling my parents like, hey, I'm really into cassettes, they're like, cool, take all of ours, it's old format. And the Camel one, my dad was telling me that that was like one he had with him when he was like in the Navy, in the 70s, and he'd like listen to that when he was like on the submarine and stuff. So it's even cooler when you can get a cassette know where it's been, the history of it. And that's kind of the whole collection. Leave in the comments below what you like, what you see that you like, what you'd like to see on cassette. But obviously, with all the cassettes I have, you obviously have to have a way to play them. I've got ways to play them. This is an Urban Outfitters one. It's also a Bluetooth speaker. It's got an aux input. I really like it. It plays nice. It's weird because you read the reviews for it and people either love it or hate it. I guess there was some quality control issues with this, but I got a good one. The only thing I don't like about it is that you do loaded the cassette in upside down, and with that being said, the controls are kind of reversed, so you just gotta think of it in reverse. Volume's good on it though. It's also good to have a backup Bluetooth speaker, and you can record with it. So I might actually be using this to make some mixtapes for some friends and hand them the mixtape, and they'll go, "Whoa, this is really cool. I don't have a cassette player." And I'll be like, "Well, then you gotta come to my house and hang out and listen to it with me." I've got some portable ones. These I've yet to get to work. These were my parents, I believe, but we got some like old Walkmans. I really wanted to look into maybe trying to figure out how I could get them fixed, because that'd be amazing if I could have a working original Walkman. I do also have this one here I bought off of eBay. I have to play around with it. I think it's a power issue. But what's the most interesting thing about this is that it's got a little N64 decal on it, and it's not a sticker, that's like printed on there. So I don't really know what the history of this is. I need to look into it more, but I'm assuming it was a promotional item from somewhere. Oh, you get an N64, you get an N64 cassette player. I don't know, thought it was cool, saw it on eBay, wasn't too much money about it. And then I also have the classic tabletop cassette recorder, you know, you see in like interrogations and stuff. Actually, for the longest time, I was using this as like my main, more portable cassette player whenever I'd want to like listen to a cassette. It's got a headphone input too, so I just like put it on the desk, plug my headphones in, listen to that. But now that I've got the other ones, probably won't use this one as much. I've also got the big boombox with the dual cassette players on it. It's got a CD player on the top. But that's it. That's my cassette collection. Hopefully, like I said again, I can do something video-wise, whether live stream, maybe find a podcast, or just maybe share more on Instagram or Twitter or something. Keep updated. You know, you can follow me, Dom Gold Official, Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr. I've got it all. Facebook page. Each place is going to have a different amount of content. Some places have content you've never seen. My Tumblr has a lot of my interests that I reblog, and then it also gets the same posts from like Instagram. Instagram probably gets the best pictures first. Facebook has more pictures on it for the Dom Gold Facebook page. This goes the same for Dowd Productions, although there isn't a Dowd Productions Tumblr. Haven't seen the need for one, but we do have a Dowd Productions Twitter and Instagram, as well as a Facebook page, so go check that out. Currently on the Dowd YouTube page is Dr.Cowboy Season 0, as well as Season 1, Episode 1, and obviously the Dom Gold YouTube. This has been the Dom Gold Update, and outro music.